The bell above the store door rang softly, the kind of tired sound that comes at the end of a long winter day, and before you scroll away, before you tell yourself you'll watch this later, pause for just a moment, because what happened in that small, nearly forgotten store will stay with you long after this story ends. And if stories that touch the heart matter to you, remember to like this video and subscribe, because every tap helps bring more stories like this to people who need them most. It was 10 minutes before closing. Outside, the cold pressed its face against the glass, fogging the windows like the city itself was holding its breath. Inside, the heater hummed weakly, barely enough to fight the December air. Shelves stood half empty, not from a sale, but from years of slow business. At the counter stood a man in a plain gray jacket, his cap pulled low, pretending to read labels while quietly watching everything. No one knew that beneath that simple jacket was the CEO who owned the entire retail chain, a man who had built his empire on numbers, margins, and quarterly reports, but tonight, he had come undercover, searching for answers no spreadsheet could give him. The door creaked open again, and a young woman stepped in, her shoulders hunched against the cold. She couldn't have been more than 28. Her coat was thin, frayed at the cuffs, and she clutched the hand of a small boy whose cheeks were red from the cold. The boy carried a worn backpack and dragged a blanket behind him, one corner torn, stuffing peeking out like a quiet cry for help. The woman smiled apologetically at the cashier and rushed toward the blanket aisle, her eyes scanning in panic as if time itself were chasing her. The cashier glanced at the clock and cleared his throat. "Ma'am, we're closing soon." The woman froze. Her shoulders stiffened, and slowly, she turned. Her voice trembled when she spoke, soft but urgent, the kind of voice that has learned not to ask for much. "Please don't close the store, my son needs one more blanket." She looked down at the boy, who tried to smile, though his teeth chattered. "It's getting colder at night." The undercover CEO felt something tighten in his chest. He had approved the memo last month: reduce hours, close underperforming locations. This was one of them. A red dot on a map. A line item. Nothing more. The cashier hesitated. "I'm sorry. Rules are rules." The boy tugged at his mother's sleeve. "Mama, it's okay. I can use mine." She knelt in front of him, brushing his hair back with fingers cracked from cold and work. "No, baby. You need to stay warm." That was when the man in the gray jacket stepped forward. "How much time do we have?" he asked casually. The cashier shrugged. 5 minutes. "Then 5 minutes is enough," the man said. The woman looked at him, startled. He gave her a small nod. "Go ahead." She hurried down the aisle, fingers grazing blankets until she found one, thick, blue, with tiny stars stitched along the edge. She hugged it to her chest like it might disappear. At the register, she emptied her wallet. A few crumpled bills. Some coins. Not enough. Her face fell. "I can put it back," she whispered, already reaching out. The man in gray placed his hand gently over the blanket. "Don't." He slid his card across the counter. The woman's eyes filled instantly. "Sir, you don't have to." "I want to," he said quietly. As they walked toward the door, the CEO asked, "If you don't mind me asking, why just one blanket?" She hesitated, then answered honestly. "We stay in a small room. The heater broke last winter. I work nights cleaning offices, but it's still not enough. He gets sick easily." She smiled sadly. "I just needed one more layer between him and the cold." Outside, the wind howled. The boy wrapped himself in the new blanket, his eyes lighting up. "Mama, it's warm." The man watched them walk away, something heavy settling in his chest. That night, he didn't sleep. He thought about the store, the memo, the red dot. The next morning, the store didn't open. Not because it was closed forever, but because something had changed. By noon, workers arrived. New heaters were installed. Shelves were restocked. A sign went up: "This store stays." That evening, the woman returned, panic written all over her face, afraid she had caused trouble. Instead, she was met by applause. The cashier smiled. The manager handed her a